Hey guys, welcome to Science Ki Duniya. If you like this video, then please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so that you may get further notifications of the topic we study. Today we will be studying diversity in living things and their classification. So what is diversity? Diversity is nothing but a range of different things. For example, everyone in your classroom is different from each other, maybe in height or maybe in weight or maybe in color. So the geographical condition at different places on the earth are very different from each other. Diversity is seen in plants as well as in animals. So first we will study diversity in plants. So what are plants? Plants are the living organisms. They are multicellular, means they are made up of many cells. Plants make their own food in sunlight. So there are various methods of nutrition in plants. So how does they consume food? So there are three types of methods of nutrition in plants. First is autotrophic plants, second is heterotrophic plants, and third one is insectivorous plants. Let's see one by one what are they. First is autotrophic plants. What are they? Plants make their own food in sunlight. Hence they are called as autotrophic plants. For example, hibiscus and periwinkle plant, both are autotrophic plants. Our second method of nutrition in plants is heterotrophic plants. Heterotrophic plants are the one which depend on other plants for their food. For example, loranthus and dodder. Our third method of nutrition in plants is insectivorous plants. What does insectivorous plants do? They consume the insect as their food. For example, pitcher plant. As you can see in the picture, how does the plant traps the insects and then it consumes it. So these types of plants are called as insectivorous plants. Now we will study what is structure of a plant. So plants generally can be divided into two parts. The stem, which grows above the ground, and the roots, which grow below the ground. Which are the main parts of the plant? The root, stem, leaves are the main plant. And from time to time, the plant bears flower, as you can see in the picture. Flowers are then transformed into fruits. Fruits have seeds. These seeds give rise to the new plants. So what does the structure of plant have? Leaf, stem, root, fruit, flower and seed as well. Let's see the structure of a plant in detail. First structure of a plant are roots. What are roots now? Roots are the organs of the plants lying below the surface of the soil. Where are the roots grown? Below the surface of the soil. What does it do? It absorbs the water and nutrient from the soil and then it transports it to the other parts of the plant. There are two types of roots, taproot and fibrous roots. What are they? Tap roots are thick and strong, while fibrous roots are thin and weak. So let's see taproot and fibrous roots in detail. A taproot is a large, central and dominant root. You can see in the picture, from which other roots sprouts, means other roots come from this main dominant root. They are straight and very thick. It is tapering in shape and it always grows directly downwards to the ground. So example of taproot are edible roots. What you eat? Carrot and beetroot. These all are the roots. Our next root is fibrous root. Roots that has no prominent central axis. As you have seen, the taproot, it has a dominant root. But here the condition is different. So there is no prominent central axis and that branches in all directions. These roots spread their branches in all directions. The fibrous roots are thin. They looks like a mat. Example, wheat, rice, corns, etc. These types of plants have fibrous roots. Our next structure of plant is stem. So the height, shape and size of a plant depends upon the stem. Okay. Where does the stem grow? The stem grows above the ground surface. So there are various functions which the stem carry out. What does it do? Firstly, it supports the other parts of the plants. Like leaves, fruits, flowers all grow on the stem. It supports other parts of the plant. The function of stem is to store the food. Means, what does the root do? It absorbs the nutrient and water and then it transports it to the stem. And then the stem transports it to the leaves and flowers and fruit. So what does the stem do? It stores the food. Conduction of water and nutrients is also the function of the stem. In some plants, stem also have the function of reproduction. So these all are the functions of the stem. Our next structure of plant is leaf. So how are the leaves? The leaf is flat. It is green in color. What does it do? It plays an important role in the production of food. Leaves are mainly of two types, simple leaves and compound leaves. So what is a simple leaf? It is a single leaf that is never divided into smaller leaflet units. On the other hand, compound leaves are divided into smaller leaflet units, as you can see in the picture. Our next structure of plant is flower. Flower is the most attractive part of the plant. It is connected to the stem by a stalk, which may be long or short in height. A flower has a typical color and shape. So the primary purpose of flower is reproduction, as it contains androecium and gynoecium. After flower, the next structure we will be studying is fruit. Fruits have different shapes. They have different colors also. And the fruits are sweet in taste. Fruits are the excellent source of vitamins and minerals. And the fruit bears one or more than one seed. As you can see, the one seed in avocado, and there are many seeds in papaya and watermelon. Next, we will be studying the classification of plants. So there are the four ways by which we can classify plants. That is on the basis of observation, that is by size and height, according to the period of life cycle, whether they are flowering or not, and on the basis of their habitat. So we will see one by one how the plants are classified. Firstly, we will see the classification of plants according to the size and height. According to the size and height, they are divided into four types. First is trees, shrubs, herbs, and vines. What are they? Let's study in detail. Our first type is trees. So how does a tree grows? It grows very tall. It has strong hard stem or trunk. Trees lives for many years. Trees bears flowers and fruits. Trees have many branches at some height above the ground. Our next type, according to size and height, is shrubs. How are the shrubs now? Shrubs are shorter and smaller than trees, as you can see in the picture. But they have thick and hard stem. They are very close to the ground. It gives out many branches which is not away from the ground but which is close to the ground. It grows up to 2 to 3 meters in height. Example of shrubs are oleander plant and the hibiscus plant. Herbs grow 1 to 1.5 meters tall. The stem of the herbs are green and quite flexible as compared to those of the trees and bushes. Herbs may live for a few months or up to 2 years only. So the examples of herbs are rosemary plant, tulsi plant. Our next type is vines. So the stem of the vine is very flexible. It is soft and green in color. It always needs a vertical support for growing. It grows rapidly but with the help of a support. Example, money plant or the pumpkin and watermelon. According to the period of life cycle, plants are classified into three types. annuals, biennials and perennials. Let's see one by one. First is annuals. So what are the annual trees or plants? The life cycle of a plant is completed in 1 year. So these type of plants are called as annual plants. For example, jowar. Jowar needs 1 year for its life cycle to complete. And also the another example is sunflower. The next type is biennials. Means what? Biennials means the life cycle of plant is of 2 years. For example, carrot and beetroot. Both of these requires 2 years for the life cycle to be completed. Our next type is perennials. Life cycle of plants which are for several years is known as perennials. For example, mango tree, gulmohar tree. The life cycle of these plants are for several years. This type is known as perennials. Let's see the classification of plants on the basis of flowering. There are 2 types. One is flowering and one is non-flowering. Flowering plants are the one which bears flowers, for example jasmine, daisy, etc. Non-flowering plants are the one which does not bear flowers, for example algae, ferns. This type of plant does not have flowers. Let's see the classification of plants on the basis of their habitat. On the basis of their habitat, there are 4 types: land, water, marshy areas and deserts. Let's see one by one. So as I said, there are diversity everywhere. So diversity of the plants is seen on the land, water, desert, marshy areas. So according to habitat, on the lands, which type of trees are seen? There are plants which grow on land as well. For example, banyan tree. Some plants grow according to habitat in marshy areas. Also some plants grow. Example is cattail. Some plants grow in deserts as well. Yes, cactus grows in deserts. So, as we have classified plants, there is also diversity in animals. So, let's see diversity and classification in animals. So, classification of animals is done on the basis of cell structure, on the basis of methods of reproduction, according to the vertebral column and according to the habitat. So let's see one by one. On the basis of the cell structure, they are divided into unicellular and multicellular organisms. What are unicellular organisms? Unicellular organisms are the one which is made up of one cell, and multicellular organisms are the one which is made up of many cells. In unicellular organisms, single cell performs all the life functions, whereas in multicellular organisms, there are specialized cells which performs different life functions. For example, nerve cells for the brain. Example of unicellular organisms are amoeba, bacteria, and the multicellular organisms are humans, cats, dogs, cows, hens, etc. According to the vertebral column, there are 2 types: animals with vertebral column and animals without vertebral column. First type is vertebrate animal. What are the vertebrate animal? Animals having a backbone. So animals with vertebral column are known as vertebrates. For example, snakes, fishes, kangaroos, human, they all have vertebral column. Hence they are under the type vertebrates. Our next type is invertebrates. What are invertebrates? Invertebrates are the one which does not have vertebral column. They does not have any backbone. Examples of invertebrates are snails, cockroaches, jellyfish, earthworms, etc. Animals are also classified on the basis of their reproduction. So there are 2 types on the basis of methods of reproduction. First is oviparous and second is viviparous animals. So what are they? Let's see one by one. Oviparous animals are the one which lay eggs. Who lay eggs now? Yes, hens, snakes, they lay eggs. So they come under the category of oviparous animals. What are viviparous animals? Animals which give directly birth to their young ones. There is no egg required for giving the birth. They directly give birth to their young ones. These type of animals come under the category of viviparous animals. So what are the viviparous animals? Yes, humans, cows, elephant, dogs, all of these come under the category of viviparous animals. According to the habitat, animals are classified into 4 types. Firstly, terrestrial animals. Second is aquatic animals, amphibious animals and aerial animals. Let's see one by one in detail. Animals which live on land, they are known as terrestrial animals. Example, giraffe and lion. Animals which lives in water is known as aquatic animals. For example, octopus, dolphin, sea turtle, etc. What are amphibious animals now? There are some animals which lives both on land and water. These type of animals are known as amphibious animals. For example, frogs and salamander. They live both on water and on land. And the last type is aerial animals. So the animals who can naturally fly, glide or soar in the air. These types of animals are aerial animals. So the aerial animals are crow. Pigeon, butterfly, honeybees. All of these are the aerial animals. So we have seen there is so much of diversity in plants and animals. Let's quickly revise what we have studied. Plants are classified on the basis of their height and the shape of the stems, period of life cycle and habitat. On the basis of height and shape, they are classified into trees, herbs, shrubs and vines. According to the period of life cycle, they are classified into annuals, biennials, perennials. Yes, on the basis of their habitat, they are classified into terrestrial plants, aquatic plants, plants on marshy lands and plant in desert areas. Animals also are classified. So they are classified on the basis of cell structure, vertebral column, method of reproduction and habitat. On the basis of cell structure, they are divided into unicellular and multicellular animals. According to vertebral column, they are classified into vertebrates and invertebrates. On the basis of habitat, they are divided into terrestrial, aquatic, amphibious and aerial animals. According to the method of reproduction, they are classified into 2 types, that is oviparous and viviparous. So that's it for today's lecture. Thank you.